What's going on, YouTube? My name is the Brainsmasher. Let's talk about some records today. Records of the heavy metal variety, shall we? I hope you're doing good, because your life's going to be even better after I tell you about some of these fantastic new musics that I have recently acquired on physical format. Okay, actually, wait. Check out the new Black Witchery shirt. Thank you, Roy, Necro Harmonic. Check his stories every once in a while. He's selling cool stuff and shirts, and my man is trying to move into a new house or something, so he's raising money for that. Hope everything's going good with that, Roy. Speaking of t-shirts, I have now finally gotten around to uploading and putting for sale the Brainsmasher Shirts. Hope you like the new design. Killer work by Dylan Straight. Just kind of it's pretty similar to the same artwork that my man did here a couple of years ago. I think I might just like every 4 or 5 years or so just do like same logo, same concept for artwork, same phrase underneath it, because I love it. I love that the shirt says smash their brains and eat their butts. So anyways, you can pick up a shirt, brainsmasher.bigcartel.com for $20 plus shipping. However, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I'm going to make that price only $10 with a coupon code. So what you can do, if you're a frugal person like me, is sign up for my Patreon, which is only $6.66 a month, and you're going to get access to tons of content and videos that I do over there as well. So then that's cost $6.66. You're saving $10, so it costs less by doing that. You don't have to keep on subscribing or whatever, unsub whenever you want. If you just want the deal on the shirt, totally get it. Go for it. Please do. If you're even more of a cheapo than that, I also am quite a cheapo. I'm running a contest on my Instagram. I wanted to say a swear word, but apparently now on YouTube, swearing in the first minute or two or whatever isn't a good idea. So, whatever. Contest on Instagram. The rules are you got to be subscribed to this YouTube channel, which I'm sure you are, right? You already are. Duh. You're a cool person. You've got to be following me on Instagram, which I don't really love using much anymore, but whatever. And then there's going to be a post there on Instagram where you're going to leave a comment, and I'm literally making up the rules for the contest right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to comment your favorite obscure 90s metal release that you think maybe I've never even heard of. So that comment section is going to work like a list of cool, obscure rarities from the 90s that are metal, and you're also going to be entered into the contest. So subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, comment on that post that says your favorite underground 90s unheard of death metal, black metal, thrash metal, whatever metal release, and I'll pick a random winner, and you have, I don't know, let's see, we'll end the contest, let's see, it's about to be September 1st. I'm going to run the contest for 4 weeks, and also you're going to want to share that post on your stories. I don't know if that's going to work out, but whatever. I'm giving away a shirt, okay? I just want you to share the shirt on your stuff so the people buy the shirt from me, okay? That's all. This shrieking going on in the background, I'm sure you're like, what the fuck is that? For the first time in a long time, I've actually like gone through and checked my levels and tried to come up with a pretty good sound scenario here where I've got the receiver on the volume of 46, and I've got the volume here on the microphone is about a 75 or so. Took the filter off, so I think our sound might be pretty good. So hopefully you and me are in for a good video. I knew you could maybe count on me for a good video every once in a while. And speaking of good, so Lyanthropy is a really good band from Alabama, and this is As the Mourners Rise. They are, as you can hear, pretty, I think it's a really nice melding of like Cradle of Filthy kind of stuff and your Nordic Norse core kind of Dimmy Borgir kind of shit. It's really, really choice stuff, and this is the last release this band ever did, so stoked to be playing that for you in this video. I have been just pretty obsessed with this band in the last 8 months or so. This EP, I may have played this EP in a video or two or something, or, you know, I've been just kind of like pretty evangelical about this band, but I realized I have not played, I don't think I've played any Lyanthropy in a video here on YouTube yet. Also made myself this little demo compilation. Their demos are very, very excellent. And this is also one of those cool situations where a band from the 90s had like a bunch of different demos, and their songs are not the same from demo to demo to demo. So like, it is worth listening to this band, as you'll hear, hopefully. Okay. Couple of records. I don't have a ton of stuff here. I was just kind of hoping to have the chance to maybe kind of have a little bit more breathing room to elaborate on some of the stuff that's been entering my household. I don't think I showed this one yet. I did get it in quite a while ago. For many years, I thought maybe I was the only person in the world that had ever heard of this full-length album that came out back in 94 or something like that. But here we have Diabolism's Endless Darkened Saga. So this, oh boy, I don't remember where this band is from. You're catching me with my pants down. Luckily, I'm sitting down, so you're not going to see much of anything. Nice insert here. Okay, these guys were from, I don't know, somewhere around the Eastern blocks or something like that. Maybe Ukraine, maybe Russia. I can't remember. Cool thing about editing YouTube videos is I can put the answer right here, and I'm right, okay? That's all you need to know. So, pagan black metal, it's really, really, really good. Heaps of atmosphere. It's just really excellent riffing. Like, there's the kind of stuff can be kind of a dime a dozen, especially as you get like later on into the 90s. And it's kind of okay. 97. That's when it came out. It can get kind of hard to, you know, get through some of this kind of stuff, and a ton of it is getting reissued here and there or whatever. But this has always been just like a really quality gem. Excellent riffs that are very, very melodic most of the time. But it just kind of dips its fingers in a lot of different areas and has a lot of just kind of variation on how it, you know, achieves the songs and whatnot. It's just a really, really interesting release. I'm really happy to see it back on vinyl. I've never had an original copy of it on CD. That thing is impossible to find. But it's really, really good. You should check that out. The other day, I was just up in the old town doing an art event, having a go-away party. Having a go-away party. That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it? Decided to dip in the record store for just a hot minute, and fucking didn't expect to see this sumbitch. Whoa! Hey, buddy! You're coming home with me. 3 dogs. Yeah, Sentinel fucking Beast. Sentence of Death. Depths of Death. I think that was a destruction, right? So, always been really impressed with this band. Debbie Gunn on the mic. Came out in 85 originally. This is just some really, really killer thrash metal. Just always thought the songs were pretty catchy. Good stuff. And, of course, it is a Metal Blade release. So to find an OG copy of this in the store for a pretty decent price, I was pretty stoked to pick this guy up. I've always wanted something, and I think this got reissued a couple of years ago, and I just kind of skipped out on it. So I'm glad I did, and I came up with this. This stuff just rages. It's just perfect. It's just perfect U.S. metal. It kind of toes the line. Like, I guess it's definitely before like power metal, and I'm not saying it's like really all that close to power metal, but there's just kind of something like, it's not quite like extreme thrash. It's not quite power metal all the way for this time period. It's pretty much just kind of like plain old heavy metal. It's not super like shreddy or melodic or anything. It's just kind of like right in the middle of all that kind of stuff, and it's just perfect, memorable and catchy. It just rules. And there you go. And that cover art, man, you just can't really go wrong with that stuff. Okay, a couple CDs, got a couple more LPs, etc. So I was watching Heavy Metallurgy. They did a review. Marty was talking about this, and I had never had any intention of like digging into what was really going on here. Okay, so like the whole like Death the band is like huge now. Kids like worship Death. I was in a like weird craft store in Chicago 2 weeks ago, and just looking through stuff, and they had shirts, and there was this like bootleg t-shirt that had like Che Guevara on it and the Death logo over the top of it. And I was just like, I don't mind, like whatever. I love Death. But like what Death is today is kind of hard to wrap your brain around, especially if you're not like super invested in it. So I still don't quite like even understand. Like there's Left to Die, which I think is like a live band that plays the old songs. Then there's Death to All, and they play newer songs. But then there's Gruesome, and they sound like old Death, but they don't play live as far as I can tell. I don't think they actually play live or play Death songs on record or live or whatever. It's just like, obviously they're one of the best metal bands ever. We want to shower our love on the memory of Chuck Schuldiner. I totally get it. I've always say like, when I have time to listen to whatever the fuck I want to, and I feel like I'm not buried in new music, which is not often. I'm literally swamped in new stuff that I bought recently here. So my habit and my friends who send me albums and give me stuff takes away from the time where I would otherwise be listening to Death. I grew up listening to Death, and I love Death, but it's still something that I don't feel like I'm done listening to Death. Still definitely want to be listening to a lot of Death. So to have something come in and try and like replace that time when I would ordinarily love listening to Individual Thought Patterns or Symbolic or my favorite Human, whatever. I didn't know that Gruesome was like using the templates of specific albums and like paying tribute to the band in that era on a specific album and kind of like trying to recreate that energy. And I wasn't sure I was actually all that interested in hearing something like that. It's tricky territory. It's something you just kind of got to reckon with and figure out how you feel on your own. But I was curious enough to get this, right? Silent Echoes is the Human of Death. So it looks like it. It sounds exactly like it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun thing to listen to. It's impressive how well they are able to recreate so much of the ideas that Death did in this time period. Especially, I mean, just in my mind, Sean Reiner is, what he did on Human is insurmountable. No drummer will ever do a better job than Sean Reiner did on Human at playing drums in a death metal band. I just don't think so. So it's I guess I just don't really know what I think about someone who sets out to, recreate something so well. But I can't blame someone for trying. It's got to be fun. It's really, really fun to hear, it sounds like extra songs or stuff that got left off the album or something like that. I don't know. It's fun to listen to. worth picking up. It's killer stuff. There's certainly far worse stuff out there to check out. So that was fun. I don't know if I love death enough to try and, you know, dig into other eras that Gruesome are going to try and recreate. I don't know. We'll see. I also picked up, luckily, this Drowned compilation, the 7-inch EPs. I've always wanted something like this to exist. I've always wanted a lot of this material on some sort of physical format. I haven't checked, but I'm sure this is the first time a lot of this stuff is available on CD and not like the original things. So Extreme used to be, if I'm not mistaken, the Extreme has kind of gone through a couple of different eras, and I believe run by the same person who used to do Drowned. But unfortunately, so much Drowned production stuff is totally out of print. A lot of that stuff has gotten reissues on Extreme Music throughout the years. But it's just cool to have all that 7-inch material all in one place. 2 discs. And so all this stuff is from between like 91 and 93. We have Pertinence, we have Iconoclast, Rotten Flesh, Catacomb, Deteriorate, Imprecation, Elbereth, which is particularly good, Severance. I love Beelzebub. In fact, I've been doing a lot of recording in my garage. By the way, if you want to check out my band, might as well just throw a plug in here for my band. We have a tape release here. This is Diavor, Divinity Glutted. It's very, very weird. What we have been doing is very, very, very weird. But these are, I don't know. I think these are available on my NeoCities website for $10. So, yeah, this is a full-length album. Been recording stuff in the garage, and I've decided to name my garage Beelzebub's Foundry. And that is kind of named after this band. But I also have a cat named Beelzebub. Darkified, absolutely killer. Immortal Fate, we talked about them not too long ago. And Pertinence, of course, you know that band. Rules, might be hard to track this down because I think these copies dried up pretty quickly. But that's great. Throw it in the car, crank it up. It's going to have a good time. I can't remember if I talked about these guys last time or the time before that, whatever. Angmar with Cenotaph. Lost Tracks. I don't know when these got lost. I don't know when these were recorded, really. It's not all that important. It's not like these guys were around in like 84 and that we're finally finding this album or whatever. But this is some top shelf, excellent French black metal. It's just not a whole lot to look at. And I know there's a ton of French black metal. There's a ton of killer black metal. There's too much of it, honestly. But it's this band is really, really, really unique and special. It's very melodic. It kind of reminds me, I guess, of like a slower. What's that band called? Sunoffer, Suhnopfer, something like that. Kind of reminds me of like the brilliant melodicism, but a little more slow, way more atmospheric. Certainly any fan of 90s black metal is going to just absolutely eat this up. And the bass playing by Welkin, incredible. One of the best black metal bass players I've ever heard. I know kind of everyone says that crown belongs to Fenriz for his playing in Dodheim's Guard. I don't disagree, but this is excellent. I want you to listen to this band, Angmar. All their stuff is really good. That's the only one I still needed to get in the collection. It's on Bandcamp, so pick that up. Before we get too much further, I want to talk about this album that I have been spending so much time listening to. I can't quite even remember what, I don't know, sparked my memory of this band, but I did a review early on when I first started my YouTube channel of Midlake's The Courage of Others. It's a very, very unique album. It's something that I don't really know if I ever would have just stumbled upon organically in any way. I don't really know if this kind of thing is really like happening elsewhere or whatever. So this Midlake album came out in 2010. And it's like folky, kind of like English rock kind of stuff. Very English centric. And it's really reminiscent of like Pentangle or like, what's that, Fairport Convention kind of stuff. Not stuff I spent a whole lot of time listening to, although I love Pentangle. But I believe the main singer that kind of makes that album so special left that band. And the follow-up album, I wasn't really feeling too much after that. So I think every couple of years I was just like, has he done anything yet on his own? And so I think I was just like doing that check. Has he done a solo record yet? And I found out that I had completely missed this a couple of years ago. So this came out originally, 2023. So I'm a couple years late on it, but I don't care. This is so special and captivating and brilliant. Harp Albion. I don't know what Albion is. I still need to look into it. But this is so ethereal and just transportive and beautiful. I just find the way that he, not just the way that he sings, but he also harmonizes with his own voice, with 2 and 3 different recordings of his own voice to just embellish the lyrics and just the heartfelt quality of the song so much. Something about the way that he chooses notes to emphasize and harmonize with his own vocals is just amazing and brilliant to me. So I guess what I read an interview with him. He's not really all that like public facing at all about his creative process. So I don't want you to think this is just like acoustic guitar and a guy singing. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of clean guitars. And in fact, I think he kind of had some of these songs sort of written, but just kind of wasn't really feeling it. And he said that like somebody reminded him of The Cure. And he just was like, man, I forgot I love The Cure. And he went back on this like big phase of listening to The Cure and just loving The Cure again. And I do love The Cure for sure. I just don't really go out of my way to listen to them very often. I have no criticisms about them. It's just not something I really think about listening to all that much. But brilliant band, especially did a lot of amazing things with guitars, and it's remarkable that they're still putting out wonderful music 40-some years after their inception. But so that, I think, inspired him to kind of cross the finish line with this album. And what he wound up doing was using like clean electric guitars with a lot of chorus pedals and delay and just like lush instrumentation that just crafted these songs into these beautiful masterpieces that they are. I don't think there's a lot of like other instrumentation going on. Like there's a little bit of, I want to say there's some flute here and there. There's a lot of synth going on in a really clever way. Like I don't think you would really notice that someone is like doot on a keyboard on this stuff. It's just so thoughtful and so unpretentious and so unique. I've just been completely blown away by this album. I highly recommend you check this out if you're at all interested. It's so serene and foggy and kind of gloomy. This might be kind of more of a thing I guess the mood of it overall would be very, very related to like the climate where you're at, the weather you're seeing whenever that happens. So like right here a couple of weeks ago when I found this, dead of summer, was indoors all the time, so it kind of really didn't make sense in that way. But if you think about just like the rainy, foggy season, if you're somewhere on a coastal area like near the ocean, this would just be such a captivating and immersive thing to listen to if you were experiencing that kind of atmosphere. But God, I can't believe how good this is. It's catchy, it's memorable, and just really, really easily digestible. I haven't been this like taken aback by any album in a really, really, really long time. If this came out this year, I would have no problem calling this my album of the year. Unfortunately, I just missed it a little while ago. He did do the album with his wife, and I want to say she plays some of the extra. Look at that. I mean, that should give you an idea of what this sounds like. So awesome. There is a couple of guests that just play like bass and electric guitar. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of like special instrumentation on this, but it's brilliant. It's so captivating and atmospheric. I guess what's super special about this is it feels like it's as transportive and atmospheric as a wonderful black metal record, but it's almost proving that this is more powerful because of its softness and its delicate embellishments. I'm just gushing. I'm literally gushing over this album. I've been really, really eager to show you guys this album because it just rules. I also got this guy in from Melanie Loves Death Metal. She pretty regularly sells mostly new copies of newer-ish releases on her Instagram stories for very cheap. So this was $15. Never gonna find an OG of this unless you're fucking Simon. Simon. So Svart does a really, really great job of reissuing so much stuff. So I will always jump at the chance to pick up something cool from Svart Records, just black vinyl. But this is some Finnish guys just kind of doing the Carcass thing back when this... Carcass was just really a trailblazer band for being the most extreme thing at the moment. And so every kid from every corner of the earth wanted to be just like Carcass. And then, Morbid Angel and all that was just blowing everything up. But so this band is from Finland, if you're not familiar or aware or whatever. But I wouldn't necessarily say that they sound all that Finnish. It just kind of sounds like Carcass. Pretty unique and weird. I'm going to finish this out with some compact discs. Going on 28 minutes here. I found this in a used bin. I've always thought this logo was incredible. The band name is pretty good. And I think, in my recollection, I think he has like one good album and one album that's not so great. So I was like, I don't really know what this is. It was like $8. Sure, I'll go for it. This is Mystigio Vargoth Darkestra. That logo is insane. So into it. It's just a The End Records release. Nothing special or collectible about this, but I thought maybe this would be a collection of both of the albums, and then, there we go. But this is a third album that I didn't know even existed. I haven't looked it up to see... Okay, recorded in 98. So maybe I just didn't know that he did 3 albums. I've never heard this before. But the reviews of this is Keys to the Gates of the Apocalypse. Real original there. This is super highly reviewed on Metal Archives, and I thought, cool. Probably really good. I really can't get into this. I think it sounds like lame Bathory. Not just like Bathory influenced me, but it's just like straight up Bathory copying with a drum machine. And the thing about it is track 1, I'm not sure if I even remember. I want to say the entire album is like 60 minutes long, and you have to listen to like 30 minutes of like really, really boring ambient that doesn't do anything until it finally turns into the black metal record, which then isn't really all that worth listening to. So there you go. Don't get it. Maybe I'll get rid of it at some point. Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Shall we poo-poo another one just for a minute? So 5 or 6 years ago or so, I had came across this band. I downloaded the album. I put it on in the car. And I just had this wonderful experience where it felt like I had already heard this album so many times that I knew what was going to come next. And the self-referential brilliance of it was just so well done that I felt like he did such a good job of writing songs that when there was like a lead up to a change, you kind of knew what was going to happen and you couldn't wait for it. And when you got it, it paid off so well. I'm talking about Ecstatic Fear's Somnium Obmatum that came out in 97. That album is phenomenal. Amazing, elaborate, kind of neoclassical doom album. I love it. 10 out of 10 all day. For some reason, the album that followed, A Somber Dance, I've listened to it a little bit here and there and just didn't really like it, but I didn't listen to it enough to decide that I didn't like it. But finally the other day I just decided, screw it, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna pick it up. Once I saw that it was so much more well reviewed than the Somnium album, I was like, how have I not gotten into this album yet if people think that it's better than the album that I prefer? So that's where I was just like, whatever the price, I'll get it. Let's go. Got it in. I have listened to this maybe 3 times now, and I don't like it. And that's not to say that it's all bad. The good parts are really, really, really good. But I think the guy kind of got a little too, like, I think this is like a solo band. I don't know. They were a 4-piece band. It seems like a band where like one guy kind of wrote most of the songs and got a little cocky the second time around. This album, A Somber Dance, was released in 99, so not too long after Somnium Obmatum. But it seems like he got just really cocky about like the build up to the release on all of these songs. So there's 9 songs on this record, and I bet you, even though it's a full-length album, maybe 45 to 50 minutes, I bet you there's maybe only about 12 minutes of metal total. And all of the classical instrumentation stuff, maybe it would interest me if it were good, but I just feel like it's not worth sitting through so much boring classical stuff just to get to the metal. When it gets there, when it arrives, it's awesome. I also kind of pride myself in having a lot of patience. Or maybe it's laziness, I don't know, but I'm not patient enough to consider that this album is worth listening to. I don't enjoy it. It's so frustrating how you just have to sit through so much mediocre chamber orchestra classical stuff to get to the good metal. So that was a bummer. So let's play us out with some good stuff. I didn't need this. I have all this music on other LPs and CDs, but I am so charmed by this band in the last couple of years, and this cover art is perfect. This is one of the best album covers you're ever going to find. I'm going to show you this. Warlord, the best of Warlord. Also, fuck best of albums. That's not cool. Listen to the album, you poser, right? Problem is with Warlord, their discography is a hot mess. They never really recorded a full length until 2003, I think, when that thing came out. So this was an important release if you were a fan of Warlord and didn't want to, take 4 different EPs and shit out of your changer. It's good stuff. So I'm going to assume that you're familiar with Warlord already and that I don't really need to talk about it, but this is one of the best proto-power metal bands from the 80s I've ever heard. The riffing is genius. The drumming, also genius. This band was amazing. The vocals are perfect. The songwriting is just super compelling. Not a dull moment. This is how you do this kind of thing. Stunning fucking band. I absolutely love them. If I was gonna if I want a gift certificate to a fucking tattoo shop or something, I'm not really into tattoos, but I would probably consider getting a Warlord tattoo. The only caveat is they're fucking Christians. So I had to pick that up finally. I've got that stuff on every other format. I've got all their best ofs and live albums and all that shit and whatever. This is yet another band called Gehenna. I've been seeing a lot of people freaking out about the Norway Gehenna. Not the Swedish Gehenna either. I discovered a new one. And also it's got the cover art that you've seen on every other fucking metal album there ever has been. I'm sorry, my glare is just brutal right now. I thought I could do it without the light, the ring light. And, you know, I think my shot looks okay. But reflection is kind of killing it right now. I need to get like a black thing. Hi there, how you doing? So this is The Shadows of Pagan Evil. This is a reissue with 8 bonus track. No, a bonus track, yeah, number 8. This just popped up on YouTube the other day, and I loved it. It's just dirty, grimy, just very, very dark death metal. And, you know, I just kept listening to it over and over and over. Didn't get old at all, and I really liked it. I'm gonna have a hard time telling you that this is original in any way, but it rules. It's worth getting. And who put this? I got this from Drakkar, and they have free international shipping from their Discogs. Why? I don't know. That thing did take probably 6 months to get to me, weirdly enough, but eventually it showed up and it was free. And it was like $10 all day. I'll do that all day. I was compelled to buy this because of a review that my buddy Ave Moores did the other day. This is a band I love. I have so many of their releases. I thought the last full length that came out about 8 years ago or so, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep up with this band or not, but here we are. The last album was called Kornog, and this one is called Igor. Belenos is amazing. It's another amazing Belenos release. French. There's regions of France, and I know we're really picky about what part of France because we want to separate ourselves from the main France or whatever, and I don't have time to care about that. I'm just gonna be honest. This thing's got riffs. This guy's a brutal drummer. I've always kind of likened this as like, this guy has as much skill both on stringed instruments and vocals as he does on drums, in a way that I think the only other musician that I think has such a comparable parity of skills is Austin from Panopticon. It's just brilliant musician, amazing songwriter, and just skilled at self-recording and playing all of those instruments. It's incredible. But this one is really, really awesome. It's atmospheric. I think most people consider Belenos to be a black metal band. It's very dark. It's very atmospheric. But just the tonality of his last couple of albums, 3 or 4 albums, have been like really, really down-tuned. And they have a lot of like heft and girthiness to it. It's really bassy and stuff, but great riffing, just run-of-the-mill. It's not an amazing Belenos release by any means. And honestly, like, if we compared Spécialisé or, I don't know, they're all in French, so I have a hard time remembering what they're called. I don't know. I'm sure these would hold up to some of his best material if you really, like, broke it down. But once a band, I think, has released, 13 or so full lengths, it's just kind of like you're already watered down by your own discography a little bit. So it may be in your best interest to put out something very different, but that's quite a risk. And I don't know if fans are going to follow you there. But whatever. I think we're at the end of the Lyanthropy album. So there is a great pile of stuff for you to get into. Don't forget to pick up the Brainsmasher shirt. It's 20 bucks. I'm going to be taking pre-orders for that until November 1st. And then between November and whenever I ship them out, Marty's going to print them up for me. And there we go. So if you want this shirt on your beautiful bod, I've got all kinds of sizes. Hit me up on the Big Cartel. And, you know, sport some swag for the channel. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Woohoo! That was a great video, and it was made possible mostly by me, but also thanks to the undying and kind support of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you all. I love you. If you are interested in being a part of my Patreon channel and supporting what I do, you are welcome to join at the URL below. It is only $6.66 per month, and you're going to love it. Thank you.